finance, a la shmup. What are carrying charges? All right, you're a luxury home real estate developer. You built this awesome house with the entry water slide, the underground Batcave style freeway connection, and of course, the chopper pad on top. It cost you $4 million to build. Okay, you built it in like Guatemala or somewhere. You took out $3 million in loans at 10% interest to do so. And if you sold the home for $5 million, well, you'd make bank. Unfortunately, some brainless realtor who was actually a genius at working your ego convinced you to list the home at $8.888 million. He said it'd be a lucky number. Really, trust me. Yeah, it was a high number. You'd been hoping to sell for more like a little more than half that number. But at $8 million and change, you'd be a financial genius, hugely profitable, and a baller of real estate. So you list the home in a huge bull market, strong economy. People come to the open house, which proffers sushi and caviar and, X, Y, and Z, and, well, they laugh. The price is crazy high. Unfortunately, by the time you fire the realtor a year later, the market has gone completely into the crapper. So you relist the home at $7 million, crickets, and then 6, more crickets, and a little bit of laughter. And then finally, 3 years later, you sell it for $5 million, like right about where you wanted to sell it in the beginning. So everything would have been great except for your carrying charges. You owed $300,000 a year to rent that $3 million you borrowed to build the home in the first place. So that's $900,000 just to rent the money for those 3 extra years on top of the $4 million you spent to build the place. Then you had real estate tax, heat, water, maintenance, gardener, and like 18 other carrying costs that go with just maintaining a house in ship shape to, be sold. Well, all in, those carrying costs beyond just the rent of the money were another $600,000. So the home cost $4 million to build, but then carrying costs were another $1.5 million, leaving your all-in cost to build it at $5.5 million. And you sold at $5. All that time and work for, nothing other than a tax loss of $500,000. Well, guess what? Carrying costs work this way, albeit less dramatically, in corporate land as well. And the most common carrying cost charge is inventory. Like when Ford has gone ahead and built 1,000 4-cylinder unicars featuring best-in-class one-wheel drive, which doesn't exactly fly off the shelves or even drive off of them. Those 1,000 cars cost them some $30 million to build, and they pay 7% interest on the money they borrowed to, build them. And that's $2.1 million a year just to rent the money to have a whole lot of inventory sitting there. Well, those cars are a low-margin business to begin with, like maybe 15% operating margins. So on $30 million of revenue, Ford would hope to make $4.5 million in operating profits. So if they carry the cars for an average of a year before they sell, well, half of their operating profits are chewed up just in the inventory cash carrying costs there. So no matter how sweet that water slide entry might sound in theory, well, you might want to just save the cash for a rainy day.